Digital showroom, it's only one part of your wholesale way of selling. It's the way you want to evolve your digital selling that is important. All this type of emotion can be presented digitally. We changed completely the way of training the salespeople. We changed completely the way they accept the customer. We changed a little bit the way they prepare the contents and prepare the figures to give the customers another type of service. After only 3 months, we get 20% more in sales. My personal and humble opinion, it's the clarity that you have within the company when you want to do some digital adoption or transformation. If there is no clarity, it's not easy to explain what you want to change within the company.
Welcome to the B2B Experience, brought to you by Biglight, one of Europe's leading experience design agencies. In this podcast series, we speak to digital pioneers in B2B and tell real stories of breaking down barriers and delivering change. I'm Steve Borges, and my guest today is Sergio Schiavone, who began building websites way back in the year 2000 when he was just 20 years old, including Lufthansa's first website in Italy. He went on to study new media, which led him to roles in IT and marketing operations at one of the world's largest real estate companies. He then moved into the world of fashion, where he began to focus on retail technologies and digital showrooms, and where he's worked with Biglight to transform wholesale portals. He's passionate about the future role of digital showrooms, so I'm really looking forward to exploring this topic with him. Welcome, Sergio.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for this invitation. I'm super appreciated this conversation. I have the possibility to share some insights with you.
Let's go back 25 years and talk about that Lufthansa website, shall we? Tell me about how that came about.
That came about with Notepad. So there were no super software at the moment to create websites. But we were in the middle of the internet bubble more than 25 years ago, and everyone was looking for some visibility on internet. And I was working for an agency that was creating websites for many companies. It was not transactional at the moment. We started to do some transaction and some ticket buying through the portals. At the moment was more possibility for the companies to show up through internet. That was a new channel for everyone. That was more or less the story. I was really curious about new technology. I just studied telecommunication and electronics, but there were even new computers coming into the house of people, and I start to look at the internet and how I can get in touch with internet and create something for the others. And then I start programming in HTML and in CSS and many other programming languages. Not really a lot of programming languages at that time. That was even easy from one side, but super complex on the other one because you have to know everything how to publish an internet website. And I was super curious. So I started creating my own websites and just do some tries. And then the agency asked me to jump on board and say, okay, we need people to do this type of job. And that's something that we need to create. And there were many customers to serve, many.
How did they find you?
I wrote to them because I was creating a website for a singer, which I was passionate about. I was a sort of fan, and this website at the moment just taken 40,000 contacts per year. 25 years ago, it was a lot, but I was missing the font. So I had to contact the official company that created the website for this singer, and I asked for the official font. And after that, we start exchanging information, and they said, "Okay, but that is your website. Okay, you have to jump and come in our company, and you need to do the official one." So I started to do official website for Universal Records and some other singers officially. That was super nice.
Do you want to tell me a bit about how your career or the decisions you made about your career, how that all unfolded between leaving university and entering the world of fashion?
Well, that's a super good question because when I started again doing website, I was a super nerd, staying from the morning until the late evening or sometimes even during the night in front of the computer. Me, the screen, computer, coding, coding, coding. After the university, I understood that I need to be more social. So I promised myself not to work for a company that do core business with IT, but just to use IT to serve other markets. And then I started in real estate, and that was my first company in 2006. uh, where I found really the way to serve the other with IT and with all my knowledges. After that, I moved into fashion, and that was another revolution.
You first encountered digital showrooms around 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, it was 2015, and it was not my first year because I joined it in 2013. And when I joined the company again, it was more IT, supporting printer, computers, laptops, mobiles, and so on, connection, internet connection. But in 2015, when I started establishing a more relationship with Amsterdam, that was the Tommy Hilfiger headquarters, a group of people at that time just started to think about, hey, we need to do something better for the digital selling. And they presented to the countries, to the guys that were working in the countries like me, hey, we have a new technology that we want to spread through the countries. And they presented us the digital showroom. We were in a Amsterdam showroom, full filled of samples. And in this showroom, there were a cinema room with this new fantastic digital showroom. It was really astonishing. When we entered that room, we said, wow, that's the future. We were super young guys and ladies.
What has driven your um, passion, really, I suppose, for this particular technology?
The passion is related to the fact that many companies really didn't understand that this is something that they need to adapt and to adopt as a technology. It's a way of selling, it's a way of displaying your products and your collection to the customer. It really helps you. There are many companies that really don't think that this is necessary. I don't want to say that you need to have a super expensive digital showroom, but the mindset to change the way you do digital selling still now. It's yesterday, to be honest, and some companies are still struggling with samples or struggling with normal B2B application.
Thinking about those aspects of the direct consumer digital experience that would enhance the B2B digital experience, which ones come to mind?
Well, sometimes you can imagine when you speak about wholesale channel, there is a level of services that's more direct between the company, the brand, and the customers itself. So the customers, they even want to be served in a super premium way, all of them. But you have personas, you have segments. So you have the big customers that you have to serve maybe one to one and deliver to them a certain top level of service. And the others that are not buying a lot, that you want to serve in the same way, but maybe you need to use automation. You need to use something that is automating on a portal. But the level of service that you can reach on a portal, it's based on a customer mapping, on a customer journey. If you can map correctly all the stages of this moment for even your medium low tier of customers, then you can create a nice experience for them. Even the customer that is buying not too much to you, but they struggling by go to the payment on the card, or they're struggling by getting some documents or delivery notes, or checking for invoices. If they have to wait days to get a simple document, once they are able to do one click in their iPhone, this type of service is something that you need to look into.
You're talking predominantly there about self-service as a way to improve customer service.
That's a possibility. That's a possibility. There are companies that started this type of programs, and it's super useful because you can even serve your customer fantastically, continuously improve the number of services you can give to them. And on the other hand, you really make your operation super efficient because you don't need more people to stay behind the computer with the whole IT by filling an Excel files or running through documents that are lost into the ERP, but everything is automated. It's an investment, but it's an investment even to progress within the company and with the people that works within the company.
We've talked about the power of digital showrooms or portals in particular to meet the practical needs of customers, but can they play a role as well, or what sort of role can they play in meeting the emotional needs of customers, but also wholesale customers, but also their customers?
this is important to mention. Digital showroom, it's only one part of your wholesale way of selling. It's the way you want to evolve your digital selling that is important. And when you're selling your collection, behind that collection, there is even some marketing contents, there are some brand vision, there are the collection mood. All this type of emotion can be presented digitally in a more effective way. This is the power of the digital showroom, where your sales team really digest all the information that is coming from merchandising, from designers, from the marketing itself, and they can translate this communication easily in the same way across the globe if you are a global brands with their customer. That's super important because you are consistent, and the brand is consistent with the customer itself, and the customer understand the information from the brand, and they can not deliver 1% of the same quality, but at least you seed something in their mind, and they can resell from their stores the same to the end consumers. That's important. On the other hand, you're losing a little bit of emotion when you are running replenishment through a B2B portal. But even in that case, you can add some marketing contents and activate some uh, insights conversation for the customer itself.
Where does it go wrong?
There are companies that really doesn't have the vision in place. When the vision is not in place and is not simple, the functions of the company don't want to go there. Maybe it's a responsibility of IT because there is still IT and not digital within the company, and only that function wants to go there. But supply chain is not working behind that. Marketing is not producing the right contents because marketing normally is producing content only for the direct to consumer channel, but it's not producing content for the B2B because they are not ready, or because the contents that they want to produce are not easy to produce for the same products that you can carry on the direct to consumer at the end after some months. So where is the problem? Where the things can go wrong? When this division is not simple and when the functions are not on the same table and they understand all together in a unique way, okay, we need to do that. It's easy. It's not me. It's not the other function. Every one of us needs to do a step forward to do this, to do digital, to do the transformation, to adapt the business to the digital itself.
How have you convinced organizations that you've joined of the importance of embracing these technologies that you're passionate about?
All the function, again, needs to understand that digital can help us, can help them, can help the company to succeed. Sales team sometimes are scared about losing their job, but that's not the case. You are not losing your job. You are only shifting your competencies from something that you know strong, which is sale to customer, really tough customers. Use that experience and enable it, amplify it with digital. That's the power, because you will have different type of customers tomorrow in front of you. But this is the real part. This is something that it's really hard to explain sometimes to the sales team or to the top management of the commercial part of the company.
Without naming any names, of course. Can you tell me a story of you encountering resistance to adoption by our colleagues in the sales world and how you overcame that resistance?
I can tell you a story about one brand manager of a brand in a company where I worked at recently. And I remember when we entered the digital showroom, they had a digital showroom. And that brand was the first one in terms of adoption within the company. But the true story was they were lucky to use it, but they don't know how to use it. And the numbers was good, but not good as we expected. So we try to explain a new way of selling using the digital showroom itself by creating nice presentation, by preparing contents before, by checking the number of the customer. All these ingredients are part of the digital showroom. It's not only having a nice table with a touch screen. It's a combination of many ingredients, okay? And the reply from that person was, "Hey, again, we are not selling a brand. We are selling a product. So I don't think we need to change it." Okay, good. The day after, I found another brand within the same company with a person that was more keen to use the digital showroom and change something within their organization, within the brand. So we started a program of 3 months, only 3 months, Steve. We changed completely the way of training the salespeople. We changed completely the way they accept the customer. We changed a little bit the way they prepare the contents and prepare the figures to give the customers another type of service. Okay, do you know the story? After only 3 months, we get 20% more in sales. 20% more, changing only the way of using the same tool.
In that particular example, how did the sales team adapt to the changes you were proposing?
We sold them the vision, really. It was not a vision of a great company, a bigger vision, investing millions. It was only a small group of people, of sales team that want to follow us for 3 months. And then after 3 months, and after 3 months, and after 3 months, we started for the first period. And in that period, we told them, follow us. And especially the person that were working with me that do all the training fantastically. And we said, and we had even a sponsor within the sales team. And we said, hey, you will see, you will never come back when you understand what are you doing. And obviously they put on the field or they experience, because we didn't tell them to change completely, but only to adapt more with the technology in front of the customers. After 3 months, we give them possibility to tell us a feedback. You know what? Nobody wants to come back. Nobody. 3 months. Nobody. And they asked for more. They asked for more technology.
Did that have an impact on the other brands and what they wanted to do?
If you start with something small, even within the same company, that maybe it's a multi-brand company, that group can be um, the example for others. We have to remember, and I told you even before, the first priority is to serve the customer. Is not to put a flag over the moon and says, okay, we arrived for first. This is the way we want to help technology people, digital people, want to try to help with the experience, the brands to sell better. So we can show the success and all the others can see, hey, but the other brands is selling a little bit better. They operational are really reducing in cost. The people are more happy. The customer are more happy because everything changed. If you sell in a hard way, you can have an appointment for 4 hours. This isn't a real example, Steve. 4 hours. I interviewed with a person within this company and they said, the other brand, no? And they said, we do meeting for 4 hours. Really? 4 hours. The other brand is doing in 1 hour. Same amount of money, same amount of turnover. 1 hour compared to four. All the other 3 hours, you can do whatever you want.
From a broader perspective, what are the largest barriers to adoption that you've encountered and how did you overcome them?
My personal and humble opinion, it's the clarity that you have um, within the company when you want to do some digital adoption or transformation. If there is no clarity, it's not easy to explain even what you want to change within the company. And the trust is important. This is a real story. If you don't gain the trust, the people doesn't understand you. You can be even the better person in the world, but if there is not this bond between technology or digital or whatever other function, Steve, is not easy. I really felt on my shoulder itself. Um, I don't know if this is a good phrase in English. Maybe I need to rephrase it. I prove it on my own. I tried on my own. Okay, to see that if you don't have the right trust, if you are not able to gain the right trust, and you are not able to explain the steps we have to do together to transform the business a little bit or to transform part of the business. We have to be humble. The people doesn't follow you. People don't follow you. And in sense of reluctancies and trust, I can give you two examples. I had the possibility to work with a person, with a sales manager, and they were super keen to do digital. They want to sell in digital, so they were really contributing to this. The trust was there, and they were a sponsor of the change. Everything was easy. Even if you fail in something, you are able to fix quickly and correctly and go ahead and do the next steps. But on the other hand, I had even cases where you start to do something in digital, but the first approach was to find something that was not working. Obviously, there is always something that is not working. But if the mindset is to fail and repair, and do uh, most of these cycles, everything goes a little bit better. That's from my point of view. The main difference is it's not all about you. The trust is between two parties, no?
You've mentioned before the importance of customer journey mapping and defining personas, that's something that we've helped you with in the past in previous projects. Um, why is this so important?
Mapping the personas and mapping the customer journeys is important to set all the milestones where you need to adapt your technology, maybe adapt your skills, maybe changing something in your organization to serve the customer itself. If you don't know who your customer are, if you don't know in each segment how the customer is uh, moving the conversation with you as a company, as a brand, you don't know how to react, you don't know how to work, and your operations maybe are not so efficient. So when we worked together, I think that was super helpful to have you and Biglight behind that. That helped us with many, many, many interviews to understand where the persona was positioned, uh, which was the real elements of the conversation that we need to establish with the customer. We understood that there were many things that were working fantastically, just an indicator. Sometimes the company thinks that they're not acting well. They are acting good, but they have to ameliorate it. That was one of the feedback we got. Obviously, in that case, I was not responsible, I have to say, for the entire project, but I collaborated with my friends, with my old colleagues, and we saw many benefits understanding this customer journey. Super important.
Let's move on to actually my favorite question, which is the role of technology versus the role of people. So, based on your success in delivering change through digital in organizations over the last 10 or 15 years, how important is the role of technology and how important is the role of people and people's behavior?
I want to reply to this question by how is important the role of people that work within technology. Sometimes the people that works within technology, within the digital landscape, they only think about digital or technology things. They don't think about the relationship with other function. They don't think about how they can be really the guide of a larger program and not waiting for others to guide the rest of the functions. So you can be really a pivot within the company as a technology team because technology is everywhere. So again, people within technology, if they elevate the way to collaborate with others by explaining not the problems, but the technology can solve many problems. That's from my point of view is a key point to succeed. First point. The second one is about the people at all within the company itself. People use technology everywhere, even at home. They use AI now again from their iPhone or from their phone or from their mobile phone. They help their son to do presentation for the school, but when they jump into the company, they found a technology that is difficult to use. Where's the difference here? Where the difference? Maybe it's because the technology is not so easy to use in the company as it is at home, or maybe because the people don't want to use the same level of attention when they use the technology. This type of engagement is something that technology and sometimes even HR can resolve by do trainings. I think HR can help the people with the trainings, for example, together with technology, to help all the other functions to use the technology better and better and better. But technology is only a tool, Steve. It's important that the people elevate themselves with new skills And this is the evolution we can have within the companies, just to add skills to our core set.
So, looking back at your journey so far, what's one thing that you would do differently or wish you had known earlier?
My lesson learned on this topic is when you understand correctly as a technology person, which are the schemes, which are the way of working of the other people. Because if you don't know correctly how the other function are working, you cannot help them. Maybe you go there with a easy solution, but it's not really fitting what they need. And if you speak about digital showroom, to give you an example, digital showroom again is a bigger umbrella. There are many things behind that. You have to work with designers, you have to work with merchandising, you have to work with supply chain, you have to work with technology team. And behind that, you need to understand how the process is. Back in the days, I'm sure there were people that really sit close to the others and said, okay, we need to understand how you are working. This is something that I missed back in the days, and I'm improving more and more. And for sure, if I want back and say something to the young Sergio, just say, hey, Sergio, sit a little bit more close to the other faction and try to understand how they are working. This is super important if you want to help them with the technology.
What would be your top piece of advice for B2B leaders who are trying to drive digital transformation within their organizations?
Just sit down with FP&A, financial and planning and administration to understand where are you spending your money and trying to understand if you can save some of this money in spending in something that it's really redundant and invest in part of technology. Just start with something small, but produce the ROI. With that ROI, you have the proof that you can really run the evolution and not the other word that is my buzzword at the end.
You've mentioned the business reasons in terms of growing revenue and improving efficiency, and obviously also offering better customer service. But I know there's also a sustainability aspect to them that you're passionate about.
Well, Steve, if we speak about sustainability, I think the low hanging fruits is about the sample production. I just try to making up something in terms of numbers. Imagine your production is a 1 million cost of samples. But in this 1 million of production, 1 million euro, just to give you even the currency, you have uh, 20 type of options, and but you have all the colors or the variants. Just reduce the number of colors. You need only one color, and you can present the colors digitally. It's easy, and maybe you can save 50% of your cost. So you save, just again making up something, 500,000, 500,000 in production. This is only the um, dimension of the money. Imagine the dimension of the production itself that is not sustainable anymore. The fashion is not sustainable, but we need to be sincere about that. It's not important to reduce 100%. If we can do that, welcome. But just start with 30%, 40%, 50%, and make your company more sustainable. It's easy for everyone, and there is a cost behind that. And this is important from my point of view. Then, one is sustainable, the production of your sample. All the other things that you need into the showrooms became even less. So the furniture are smaller. If you reduce 50% of your sample, are you reducing 50% of your hangers? Is that not sustainable? It's another production that you are removing, but this is a, sorry to say, easy one, fun example. But the sustainability pass through the reduction of your sample for first, for sure.
But before we wrap up, I have got one final question for you, and it's called B2B buzzword bingo. So, what's one buzzword that's overused or a trend that's overhyped in B2B at the moment that you wish would just go away, and why?
I think for me is transformation. Is not needed anymore. Stop transforming. Just start evolve yourself as a person, as a function, as a team, as a company. Don't be scared about digital. It's not only a cost, it's a way of combining your new skills to go to the market. That's super important. And it could be even the evolution on the way you are producing. It could be the evolution on the way you are producing your showrooms, your offices, your environment, everything is there, but it's not more transforming. It's transforming from my point of view. It became more tough. It's something hard to do. Just do something for yourself. Evolve.
Very good. So evolve, not transform. Excellent. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you for sharing your experience and your passion with me. It's been very interesting. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, then please don't forget to hit subscribe and to share it with your network. And if you'd like to find out more about how Biglight helps its clients discover the needs of their customers and deliver experiences that meet them, then check out our website or follow us on LinkedIn. I'll see you next time.